Hey everybody, welcome to another Hoop and Harm. As always, joined by Nolan. We are going to do a little bit of, we are now finals recap, I guess you can say. I
Hmm.
call it a recap because it kind of feels an odd finals. I don't know what to make of this one.
Yeah,
We're
it's
2-2.
fun.
2-2 for those of
It's been a
us.
fun finals.
Not many people are watching. We'll just put it that way. We thought that was going to be the case because of the two teams, Indiana and OKC. So there's not a whole lot of media interest because nothing for nothing. The media folks don't like to travel outside of their bubbles.
Right.
Don't tell anyone. They're very engaged
Right.
with the community. Um, so I I wanted to fire everyone on OKC staff last night. I think I was texting you
Yes.
that. I was so
Yep.
frustrated watching game four because it just was I don't I don't know what to make of Indiana because they don't seem special.
They, they don't, but at the same time, we gotta stop. We gotta stop counting them out. We gotta stop treating them like they're some underdog. Like they're clearly a good team. They may have the very best coach in the entire league. They may have the most well balanced, deep roster in the entire league.
Like
And
accidentally, like no one said that middle of the year.
if you've been following though, and I'm not saying I was, but like for people that really are in the know, like Indiana has been on an upward trajectory since about halfway through the season. They have not lost back to back games at home since December. They have not lost back to back games period since March. Like they've been a good team. I was having this conversation with somebody like I think we need to start like throw the whole regular season out. Like January is when the regular season
I would
starts,
agree with you.
and like when we're going into when we do playoff matchups next year, when we're talking about who the hot teams are coming into the playoffs, let's look at the records from January on because I think that will tell you that Indiana is right where they should be. I'm not taking anything away from them, but like this, like we should have seen this, and people who get paid money, people who get paid money to lots of money to like prepare for them should have seen this. Like people should not have been like thinking of Indiana as such a big underdog against Cleveland and New York.
I again, Eastern Conference. I'm not even going to worry about that. Like we thought it was open. I think we both picked Indiana over Cleveland. I think
Yeah.
for my heart for you, I was hoping the Knicks could do it because of last year and they could come against this
Mm-hmm.
team and do it. Um, But Indiana, let's just realize facts here. OKC against the Eastern Conference in the regular season had one loss. They
Right.
had one loss. And if you watched OKC in the regular season, they were excellent. The thing that was surprising to me is they did adjustments. The coaching staff was adjusting the lineups of the best team ever. They were adjusting lineups. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And Indiana has been more of a, this is who we are. We're going to keep playing the way we are. So, like, if you were to say to me which team looks like the best team entering into the series, I would say Indiana does because they haven't changed anything. They have
Absolutely.
their lineup. They're doing it. So I'm going to just go back. They don't make sense because without these crazy shots of Halliburton, and I thought he was going to do another one last night. I thought the game was close.
Me
They
too.
missed a bunch of free throws. Again, they hit those free throws. There's a shot. There's a shot
Yeah.
that Halliburton can make, which he would have made.
Absolutely. He would have made it.
Now, again, I have not seen an OKC player have to hit that shot. They've hit free throws to keep the lead or miss
Right.
free throws to lose the lead. The thing that I'll continue to say, though, I know we said early in the season, the two players that I think you have to watch if you're going to see who wins in the game, it's Turner and Chet, or
Mm-hmm.
Turner and yeah, Chet, because if they're not playing well, the advantage is such as tides. Because I'm not saying that you can wipe out any of these players. The defense on the perimeter is really good, and if they let them play, it's hard. The interior game, which is again, you've game three. What did Turner do to Chet? Block the shot, turn
Yeah.
the ball over. come down, hit the shot, go inside, be unstoppable. In this game four, Chet's getting the offensive rebounds. He's a lot more active.
Yep,
His defense against the wing players, I thought, was better. I still think
definitely.
if they lose, I think Chet's the piece that's gone. So I I don't know what I'm witnessing because I didn't expect it. I picked OKC in five, and I haven't seen OKC play like OKC. And I'll just say, is it because Indiana's allowed to play as physical with OKC as they weren't used to it in the first three games and maybe game four? But I still think game four, they're in it. They missed, I think, three free throws in a row that would have put it like a 2 point game.
I mean, most of that game we thought Indiana was winning. That's all. Like, if you're an OKC, if I'm an OKC fan, I'm not feeling great, even with that victory last night. Like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, and that's why, like, look, I'm giving Indiana all the flowers. I really am. They are a legit team, and they very well could be the NBA champions this year. No one at this point will be surprised by that at all. And yet, it still feels like a missed opportunity for a Knicks fan or a Cavs fan or, a Nuggets fan who was, one game away from beating OKC and perhaps carving their way to the
Is
finals.
this
So
a similar year to when the Bucks won? Like I feel like the Bucks won and they were the better team, but if you were to ask me like did the Suns blow their opportunity? I would say yes.
totally. I think that's a good comparison because I think that was a year. I'd have to go back and look at the way the playoffs played out, but I felt like this is just a fun year, like where almost anybody could win. That's how I remember feeling about that series. Not necessarily, again, not taking anything away from the Bucks. They did it. They pulled it off. They won when it counted. But I could have easily seen Phoenix be the champs that year. I could have easily seen a bunch of teams from the East emerge. So it was kind of like a toss up year. The difference I will say is I really felt like OKC was unbeatable, and
I
they've
I agree with you. I That's the part that again that scrubs the Suns Bucks away is that neither of those teams I felt were unbeatable. I felt like OKC was tried in the Western Conference, which is why I felt they were stronger, especially after the Denver series. But I felt they had a lot to prove. They haven't been that far. They're going to get tested. We'll see how they do. They've won all these games by so many points. I still feel like in the end, at the end of a game, I have more faith in Indiana. Like
mm-hmm,
OKC turned it off. We're on an inbound
yeah.
pass. I mean, when you're watching this, you're like, OKC, it doesn't feel like they know how to close.
I'm telling you, man. I saw it in every other series in the East. That you get to the end of those games against the Pacers, and 9 times out of 10, the other team looks completely shook, completely rattled, as if they've never had pressure before.
Mm.
Like as if they've never been pressured on an inbound. As if for the first time they were practicing like that play. Like what? How are we going to break out of this inbound? It's amazing. And it's like you just expect Indiana to get a hand on the ball and it go the other way for an easy Obi Toppin dunk or something.
It's pretty. You're not wrong. I mean, you're.
And so, like, again, I'm so torn because I want to give Indiana all their flowers. Like, we have to stop pretending that they're not a good team, that they don't belong here. They absolutely belong here. And yet, the way that they're winning and the way that they're doing it, it feels like one of those supernatural sports moments where it's like, this is just their year. Like, it is. Like, everything's going to go their way. It's just in the end, they're going to find a way. And yes, they're a very good team, but maybe there's some supernatural luck on their side.
I struggled with last night. OKC's terrible shooting from 3 point.
Mm,
Um, I think the whole team didn't shoot well at all. If you're OKC, I mean, that's a game. If you were gonna ask me, I said Indiana stole game one. This is the thing that I watched with Denver and OKC. I feel like
yeah,
OKC stole game four or game three. I can't remember, but at the end of it, they just wore them down and stole it. I felt like this is similar. OKC kind of stole this one because
they
Indiana had
did.
all the momentum. They were shooting better, and then they just missed a couple shots. But at the end, I mean, we still
And that's
we still thought they were
that's what
gonna.
makes this that's what makes this series so hard to call, even 4 games in, because Indiana stole game one. I mean, OKC had no business losing that game.
Yes.
Indiana, OKC blew them apart. I mean, if there was any game, again, I didn't feel great about it because watching Indiana, you get PTSD. You just expect a comeback, but they for all intents purposes, objectively speaking, they blew Indiana out of the water. Then the next game, Indiana did the opposite to them. They embarrassed them. They embarrassed OKC, and they were doing it most of the last of game four, and OKC had to steal one from them. So like, which one is it? Or maybe we're just dealing with two really good, really well coached teams, really well balanced teams who are peaking and valleying their way to the championship, and the one who has it together in the final moments of Game 7 is going to be the one. I mean, I could just see that happening.
It, yeah, it feels to me like when I put my feelings into this thing and I'm watching these teams battle, like there's a part of me that just wants to fast forward to the end. Tell me how it ends. Because the
Yes,
shifts are so massive. You know what I mean? I have feelings in the game where I'm like, OKC played in the second quarter some of the best defense I've seen. And I was like, they're back. This is who they are. They're playing defense. Indiana's
yeah,
turning the ball over. They're draping everybody. It's just what they're doing. And then they just stopped doing that. It was almost like, oh,
where'd it
we don't
go?
know what we're doing. Then Indiana's doing it, and I'm like, oh, geez, this is over. OKC can't hit a shot. They're draped all over them. And then I would look at the score. I'm like, but they're only down by 4. This is really odd because
Yeah,
Indiana felt like they were further ahead, but they weren't ahead on the
they did.
scoreboard. So I think that's the choose your own adventure book. You remember those books when we were kids that you
Yes,
just skip to the end or skip to the next part to see if which was the better decision. Like
all
it
right,
almost feels that way, and then everybody at the beginning or end is like, "Oh, that was a good move when you rested this player or you put this player in. That's a genius move." And I'm like, "They won, it's genius. They lose. What do you say? And it's not a good move." You know what I mean? It's
all right.
like if SGA doesn't hit three to put him behind by 1, that's a huge shot.
Yeah,
He doesn't make
that
that
was such a big
if he
shot.
doesn't make that shot, what happens to the whole game? They're down by 4 at that point, and it just felt like they couldn't get any closer. That 3 felt so massive because it was like they're finally within a point. They're within a basket.
Hmm.
So even if Indiana makes it, they're still within a basket. And I felt like that kind of rattled Indiana a little bit. Um, so yeah, I want to fast forward to the end of the game. Like, just don't put me through all of this back and forth. I would wonder, like an OKC fan or an Indiana fan, they must be like you were as a Knicks fan. Like there are moments where the Knicks look great, and you're like, dude, we're cruising, and then suddenly Indiana is
Yeah,
destroying you, and you're like, throw the whole team out. I don't know what I'm watching, and then you're back again.
and it's like it doesn't even, and it's not even like it goes away, and like it goes away in the most extreme way possible. Like literally, they're looking like a juggernaut 1 minute, and then it's completely gone, and we're looking like the NBA All Stars in Space Jam who got their powers taken away, and it's like what do you like? Not even one stop, not even one good defensive play during that stretch. It's just you know bad decision after unlucky bounce after. It's so bizarre. And I mean, I just think again it would be torture as a Nick fan to watch, but how poetic would it be for like this series to come down game 7, Halliburton taking a last shot
Oh,
like with like seconds ticking. I mean,
it's
with
for
that
him to pass Reggie Miller at this young of an age.
I might even like believe it's fixed if that happens at this point. Like I might officially like be like put the tinfoil hat on and say like this is a storyline, like this Hollywood scripted this.
I,
This is can only
I
be.
will agree with you. I mean, I thought this was one of the X factors going in was the coaching, especially if you look at
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. You know, he's won one with Dallas when no one thought Dallas was going to win, and the way he uses his bench feels it feels similar to Dallas against the
Mm-hmm.
Heat. Do you remember how like
Mm.
he used players that you were like this? Why is
It
this?
was such a deep team.
And why are you using this guy to do this? You know,
Yep. He had a method to his
so
madness.
like he's putting the even in this game 4, he put the right pieces in the right places. So like I don't think Indiana's out. I don't think OKC's out. And I thought there's no way Indiana's going to hang with them. I mean,
Look,
at this point,
Carlisle knows his players from Halliburton all the way down to number 15, the two-way players. He knows them to a T. You know, apologies for always bringing up the Knicks, but this is the team I watch the most, and the example that comes to mind is Delon Wright, who didn't see hardly any time since the Knicks acquired him at the trade deadline, got thrown into a playoff situation, and there were some NBA insiders, some people who are real nerds for the game, who are saying throw Delon Wright in there because he's tall, and he's a tall guy who's got some defensive ability, and it'll be different. It'll be different from Halliburton having Brunson or Miles McBride or someone shorter on him. It'll be a different look. And obviously, wasn't enough to put them over the edge, but it kept them in some moments, and it changed the game a little bit, changed the dynamic. And Carlisle is so good; he can do that for every single one of his players. Like, he knows exactly what their attributes are and their skills, and even just something that they can do because of their physical being ability, or nature, better than some of the other guys in their team. And he does that, and he uses them.
so game five's on Monday. I'm just gonna. My favorite commentary is when they're like, "Oh, this player is so tired. They've played
Yeah,
so many minutes. This is oh." I'm always like, "Yeah, it's the finals. I mean, isn't this what they trained their entire life for? Like, that's
right.
like I'm watching the Stanley Cup final too. Everybody, I don't know. I've never seen an NHL announcer go, "Well, he's really tired."
Yeah,
They're always
maybe after like a long shift where they can't get the line changed, but like,
right. There's never been a like, well, that guy was tired. They're like, oh, he was beat at the end of a shift. That's understandable. But when I'm watching the
yeah,
NBA, they're like, oh, well, he was worn down by the fourth quarter. It's like, from what? Like,
right.
I know they do a lot of the flailing and the head
And they've
jerkiness,
been playing since
and
October.
and again, they're like, they're doing all this stuff, but I'm like, I watch the NHL and I see guys like straight up try to ruin people, like ruin
Right.
they ruin their kids. Like, they hit them so hard, I
Yeah.
see other life forms leaving them. So like, I look at that, I'm like, and they get up and they keep playing, and I look at the NBA and I'm like, I swear to God, I've never seen an NBA parade with people who have cast on that didn't have cast while they were playing, or you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm tired. I am tired of hearing them say, "Well, he's tired," or "That person's tired." I We have Monday game five. I do believe OKC gets them in game five at home. So the question becomes: is Indiana now can they steal another one from OKC? And do you see 5 or 7 being more likely for Indiana to steal a game?
I see. You know what? I'm going to say this. I think Game Five is a must-win game for OKC, and yet it would not surprise me in the slightest if Indiana won the next two.
Yeah.
It would not. It would not blow my mind at this point. It really wouldn't. I mean, you could do anything to them. That team is unshakable. They're not rattled for not for this playoff, but last playoffs, they were down 2-0 to the Knicks, 3-2 to 3-2 to the Knicks. It didn't matter. Man, they OKC must win, but I don't think I would, I might even put money on Indiana winning the next
That's
two.
interesting. You just said OKC is a must win. I agree. I think OKC is more on a must win than Indiana.
Hey, you're home. You just stole one. It's been two straight games that you've really not played like yourself. Come out and do to them what you did in game two. Come firing on all cylinders. Bring the defense. Bring the pressure. They're due for a really good shooting game. So that's what I would say. And then you got to win one of two, and one of them's coming, and the game seven's coming back home. So
Interesting. All right. Well, so I still think OKC wins. I was at a 95%. confidence level before the series started, I'm now at a 51% confidence
Yeah.
level that OKC wins. Not only do I believe Indiana can win, but I mean, they love proving their haters wrong. And if you look at all the picks, and again, I think it was right. If you look at the other than Cleveland, I think Cleveland and the Knicks, there should have been more people picking Indiana, more of the
Yeah.
experts. It didn't make sense, especially with Cleveland's injuries, that nobody was picking Indiana and the depth that they had and what they showed.
Yeah.
And against the Knicks, I think that could have easily gone 50-50. I could have been swayed either way. I felt the Indiana and the
Yep.
Knicks both were healthy. I felt the Knicks wanted payback. They didn't get it. This is what happens. But the biggest problem that I thought the Knicks had was their coach. And
Hmm.
on this one, I think the biggest issue OKC has is the coach. I think if you were to give the advantage, so
And
I'm
this is
51.
a guy that people say is a great coach. So
The
the
OKC
problem is
the
that
OKC
that
guy.
yeah, Daigneault gets a lot of flowers, and a lot of people have been saying all year he's a great coach, and I didn't think he is. But Carlisle's been doing it a little longer. He's got a little bit more success. He's got a championship under his belt. Pretty sure he was a part of that Detroit Pistons championship in the early 2000s too, right? Wasn't he on that staff with Larry Brown?
You'd have to look, but that was an upset of upsets. Um, Interesting, because I would say this: if the OKC coach is that excellent, he got taken to Game 7 against Denver, and the coach who just signed, the assistant who now is the head coach. So,
Right.
and now, if I think he's been outclassed in this series the whole way.
I think so too.
The whole way.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he was making adjustments and OKC's making adjustments. Indiana's not. If I'm feeling great if I'm Indiana, I feel like I'm playing with house money. Like their confidence is sky high. Even after that game, they're like, "Hey, we got calls against us. They got the
Yeah.
extender in there. We're gonna be fine."
That
They had to
absolutely.
bring the extender in against us.
I'm not nearly as a Pacers fan. I'm not nearly as shook as a Thunder fan right
Oh,
now.
I agree.
And as a Thunder fan, I am saying go and win Game 5 outright.
Yeah, you got to work them. All right. Well, we'll see. Monday night's the game, and we'll recap the probably game 5 because they'll take a little bit to get to game 6 or 7. But
Right.
not many people are watching it. For those that want to tune in, you can tune into the end and not go through the emotions, but you're going to see a great ending. I'll tell you that much.
It's been fun.
Yeah, I would agree. As always, thanks Nolan for joining, being a part of the Hoop and the Harm. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it.